Welcome to the Echo Sportscast.
I'm Paul McLean.
And I'm Dave Dale. This is our number 4. Welcome. Our top story is the Algonquin Barons senior football team's 3-0 start to the season after a decisive 32-16 win over the Scollard Bears last Friday. I was there.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. I was only there for second quarter.
Yeah.
I was only there for the second quarter. And Algonquin scored 2 touchdowns within about a couple minutes. Mm-hmm. And the play right for the second touchdown was remarkable. Yeah. It was one of those passing plays where they designed it. They had a crossing, and then they pitched it out.
Okay.
It was beautifully well done, right? And we have video of that. You're going to see that. And you're going to see that video when as we listen to the Barons' 5th-year guy, fullback, halfback, linebacker, Jacob Dubois. And I was really impressed with him. He's got his head screwed on well. Yeah. He's 5'10", 11, 250 pounds, a hard tackle.
Yeah, I bet it's a hard tackle to make for sure. He's going to be taking that's a lot of weight coming at you and a lot of top speed.
Yeah, so I was really impressed, and then you'll see that I asked him what his plans were after this year, and I was really sort of encouraged to hear he's working in the field where he's very interested in it, and might if somebody offers him something, maybe think about it. But he's really got his life going. So let's listen to Jacob talk about football. I actually went to the Algonquin, and they're doing videotape review. Okay, and they're getting ready to take it all. Yeah. Right. So here we go. So you guys are 3-0 so far to start this season after coming very close to winning NDA last year. Mm-hmm. How does it feel as far as the team around you? Do you think you can go all the way?
I think we have a really good chance this year. We had really good coaches last year too, but this year I feel like we're just all connected really good, and I think we can do it. I think we have a really good chance of beating them this time.
I have a video highlight of the touchdown passing play right before the halftime last game against Scollard on Friday night. That was a pretty special play.
Yeah, that's called it's called a dig shovel pass. So we have our slot and wide receiver doing a little crossover. I'm pretty sure the wide receiver gets the ball and then tosses it back, like shovels it to our slot, and then he runs up. Yeah.
With 1 minute left, and it was a well done play.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah,
worked as drawn.
Yeah, it was perfect. We were all really happy. We just watched it on film. It worked out perfectly.
Tell me about some of the other players that you feel are really stepping up and doing well.
So for our O-line, I'd say Wyatt Grant is overall he's a tackle on our offensive line. He's helping us a lot. He ties everything together, really helps us on our run plays.
Is that the big number from 95 or 98?
I think he's I am not too sure.
The big guy.
Yeah, the big guy on the O-line, yeah. Gotcha. And then Dane too, our quarterback, he's also really good. He's helping us a lot, helping us with our passing.
What's it going to take to keep the team from getting too big of a head here? You only have 2 teams to play. You've beaten Scollard twice now, I think.
Yep, twice.
So usually there's a psychological thing there where a team may feel like it's an easy ride. How are you going to maintain the high level of performance?
So for us, after the loss of last year, I think it all hit us really hard. I was in 12th grade last year, so I wasn't too sure if I was coming back or not. But after that loss, thinking that you should have won that just by like a couple of points, that really helps us push and really, makes us remember that what it's like to lose, and we don't want to make that happen again. We want to
win. Why do you play football? What do you get out of it?
Honestly, it just makes my life. I don't know. I just love it so much. It makes my life fulfilling, and I've started since I was I think 7th grade, and I haven't stopped since then.
So you were with the Bulldogs?
Yeah, I played with the Bulldogs, I think a couple seasons before COVID, and then I got to play one summer season, so I got in the coach bus. I was that was a new experience, going on coach bus, traveling around, playing games. That was a lot of fun.
What do you like most about football?
I like practicing a lot in football and meeting new people. So every year there's always someone else coming in, new coaches, there's new techniques that you can learn, new coaching. That's really what helps me.
You're a pretty solid guy. What's your weight and size?
I am 200. Last time I weighed, I think I was 255 pounds. I think I'm 5'10", 5'11".
5'10", 5'11", 250?
Yeah.
That's a lot to tackle.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, right on. Well, best of luck going forward. You guys got a bye this week, and are you guys going to be watching the Trojans and Scollard play this Friday?
Yes, I'm probably going to go watch them. Hopefully more of our players are going to go, so we can try and figure out and see if they're, trying anything new or try and find new ways to beat us. But yeah, I sure hope that most of our team's going to be there just to watch.
Tell me about your career plans.
So right now I'm working for Red Path. It's a heavy equipment mechanic. Working there right now as a co-op student. So depending on any opportunities, if I get, by any colleges or universities, depending on that, I might go and play. It's iffy right now. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. What do you like about being a mechanic?
Right now it's really helping me trying to stay focused on life. It was pretty much my first really serious job with a big company, and it helps me focus and keep calm, and it's helping me a lot learning too. Well,
like I said, a very impressive student athlete. I was very inspired, and I want to do more interviews of the athletes. Have you met any that?
Yeah, I'm continually impressed with just the kids. I've said this before. When people say, "Oh, kids these days," if you take the time and you get a chance to start talking to them, give them a chance to maybe talk about things that are of interest to them. It's really fascinating what you can learn. So.
And I hope that whets your appetite for, and you're watching this Friday morning and you got time to make plans to go to Kildare Field. Scollard's hosting West Ferris, and it should be a good game.
Yeah, so nice game at 1 o'clock. The weather's been amazing this fall, so hopefully we can get a little bit more of that, and we're not having any hurricane weather or anything coming up. But 1 o'clock game, going into the Thanksgiving weekend, going to be really exciting, and love to get lots of people out there because it's going to be a great atmosphere.
Football, turkey, stuffing, I love it.
Nothing goes better with football than turkey, and nothing goes better with turkey than football.
The Bears won the first contest at the Trojans Complex September 20th with a score of 40-8. So West Ferris has their work cut out for them.
Well, we'll see what Coach Mark Robertson's got up his sleeves. We know that he's, going to be coming with a plan and doing what he can to try to make up for that game.
And here's the NDA results that we have up till noon on Wednesday. In boys volleyball, Tuesday night, Franco City beat West Ferris 3-0 in both the senior and junior matches. In Chippewa's juniors, blanked Algonquin 3-0, officially a forfeit actually because the Barons had an incomplete team.
On Monday, the Scollard Bears senior and junior boys volleyball teams defeated Franco City 3-0 and 3-1 respectively.
Last Friday, the Algonquin junior girls basketball team beat Franco City 26-15.
Congratulations to the Chippewa Intermediate Cross Country Running Team for winning both the intermediate boys and girls overall team banners at a race in Cobalt. Top 10 finishers included Etta McDonough 2nd, Riley Olson 5th, and Allie Raymer 7th. Mike Lawson finished 4th, Preston Lyle 6th, and Reese Ringler 7th.
In Chippewa junior football news, they had an experience of a lifetime. They went to at Hamilton Ticats and Winnipeg Blue Bombers game recently in Hamilton. The team got to meet with Blue Bombers head coach and North Bay legend Mike O'Shea before the game. He also got to help unveil the Canadian flag on the field and then got to go on the field after the game. Big thanks to Coach O'Shea and the Hamilton Ticats for hosting our team.
Mike is just an incredible host. I will be brief, but I very luckily had a chance to go out to a game, part of a package he donated to a golf tournament, and I bid on that and went with my daughter. He was standing there at the pickup line with a toque for her, met us, drove us right down to the game, and just like was incredible host, and it was a lot of fun to be a part of it. So I can't say enough about Mike and what he has done for the CFL and North Bay football.
We haven't covered golf very well this season, maybe next season. But the Bears golf team, I saw this on their social media page and Facebook. They were in Elliott Lake at the NASA at Stone Ridge Golf Course. Olivia Purcell is heading to OFSA's Golf Festival in Tecumseh, and the boys team placed second. The OFSA is October 16th to 17th next week.
And I did hear some other information about that. Like there were some Scollard boys who shot really well. It was a very tough competition to get into OFSA. The guys shooting like at par and still not making it because of how tight the qualification is. So, really good golf, and yeah, hopefully next year they can qualify.
If we missed anybody that did well at NASA, let us know. We'll pick it up next week.
Really great to see Chippewa provide us with a list of their current alumni playing in varsity sports across North America right now. And we're going to take a moment to show you the different athletes and the sports that they're playing and where they're at. And we're going to encourage any other school to, provide us with the same. We'd really love to showcase this and recognize the accomplishments from these kids.
Well, Chippewa's Facebook page is one of the most progressive ones as far as this goes. All the different activities of the school, the new Ravens. Right?
Yes, Ravens. Yeah, I saw that. And that's exciting to maybe put that whole thing to rest. I know probably a little bit controversial in some areas, but again, the focus is on the amazing athletes, all the coaches and volunteers, the facilities that they have. So, I mean, a name's a name. It's what they do on the court and on the field that really matters. So, and they're going to continue to do that.
Well, I went to high school in Cape Royal, and we were the Cape Royal Ravens.
Okay, so
way to go, Chippewa!
Yeah.
I'm not going to bug them about this anymore.
No, exactly. Well, now it's over. Yeah. We're going to move forward, and we're going to get lots of new swag and uniforms and stuff are going to be out there too. So we'll see if I can help with any of that.
Well, why don't you let us know who Chippewa has out there as alumni in post-secondary?
Yeah, so we've got Hannah Franz is playing hockey at Wilkes University. That's in Pennsylvania. And Adri Johns is a ringette player here at Nipissing University. Maeve O'Hagan for hockey playing at St. Lawrence University, Division I school in the States. Madison Norman is playing ringette with the Voyageurs at Laurentian University. We have Danica West playing hockey for Sioux College in the Sioux, playing in the ACHA in the States. Julie Dokis is a volleyball player at Canadore. We've got Gracie Roynan with the Lakers hockey team playing for her uncle Darren. Jacob Staringa playing for the Ottawa Gee-Gees football. And rounding that out, we've got Jenna Wall swimming at McGill University. Braden Blake playing volleyball at Canadore. Ben Franz playing volleyball at Nipissing. Stephanie Hatch plays hockey for the University of Michigan at Dearborn. And Kate Pauley is a Laurentian Voyageur as well for soccer.
Oh, cool.
So quite a host of athletes, all actively playing. And that's really a testament to the different programs and everything that's going on at Chippewa right now. And again, if we can encourage those other schools to let us know, because we know that this is not the only school in our area doing this, and we'd love to showcase these kids, and we're proud of their accomplishments, as I'm sure they are, and their families too.
Well, this is a nice sort of segue into our featured interview with Tyler Mullan, a Scollard Grad, a kicker for the Queens Gaels. Yes.
And a kicker at Scollard, as we'll say in the interview, that I believe I mismentioned, if that's not actually
You're going to have to stop beating yourself up.
I know, but I definitely threw him for a little bit of a loop on there, but he handled it like a pro. So, I mean, it was great getting to hear what goes through his mind when it comes to approaching the kick and the role of the kicker on the football team. And yeah, he handled that like a pro. I threw out a thing about his dad and where he was coaching and totally confused him. But
stop.
I know, lots of great answers. And again, just it's really cool to see. He had just an unbelievable rookie year. We had a great chance to hear all of his thoughts on it.
Ranked fourth at the time when we were interviewing him nationally at USports.
Yeah. No, just putting up points. It's a really great record, and he's they were going to Western. Was I think ahead of the interview there.
So let's first a word from our sponsors, then we'll listen to Tyler.
Hi, I'm Natasha Laframboise, sales representative with the Laframboise team at Realty Executives Local Group Inc. Brokerage. We are a local real estate team here in North Bay. Our team of sales representatives, Matt Laframboise, Phil Seguin, and Adam Negro, are ready to help you through the buying and selling experience. We have been providing service to the North Bay and area community for over 17 years. Our goal is to provide knowledge, support, and guidance in order to prepare your home for sale, bring it to market using multiple selling strategies, and get it sold. As a home buyer, we have 2 buyer's agents ready to help you find your home sweet home. If you'd like to know more, check us out on our website, laframboiseteam.ca. We are always happy to help.
Today we're interviewing Tyler Mullan. He's at Queens. He's a football toe, making his way into the national rankings. Welcome, Tyler.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So you're off to another good season, it looks like.
Yeah, good start to the season. I've always, since my first year, I've been trying to do that again. So,
yeah. Well, you've had an interesting time to be at university, kind of post-COVID, really. How has that affected your academically? Is just trying to get back into the swing of university, or what was it like when you first started there?
it was definitely a bit of a wake up call. I guess all 3 of my senior years at high school were kind of right in that COVID era, and that was a time where you could kind of just do nothing and still get good marks. And so coming to university, especially a university like Queens, just the change in academics and having football for 5-6 hours a day, and then having to do your assignments on top of that, and it was a huge wake up call. And I'm glad I stayed for my 5th year of high school. It kind of matured me and gave me an extra year of to prepare. But it was definitely a wake up call and a big switch coming here. And
Tyler, going back to your high school days, and we this podcast really trying to focus on NDA, athletics. Talk about the fact that you had to switch schools, going from Whitfield with the closing, and then having to start at Ferris. How did, in the midst of everything else, how was that for you?
it was a bit weird because growing up, my dad was the head of athletics and football coach at Whitfield. So that's kind of how I got introduced to football. I would always walk over to Whitfield and watch his practice, or I would actually kick at his practices. That's kind of where I learned to kick a football too. But so I loved Whitfield. I loved, I wanted to go to school with my dad and my brother. So I went there in grade 9, and I loved it. And growing up, it's kind of funny now, but I was always, it was kind of just burned into me that you didn't like the Scollard Bears. But grade 9, the announcement came that it was going to close, and all of my buddies that I grew up playing hockey with and different sports with, they all went to Scollard. So when that announcement came, it was kind of the clear option to go. And after I convinced my dad to let me go.
And that's right. Sorry, I totally
good.
messed that up. Your dad went to teach at Ferris. You went to play at Scollard.
Mhm.
Sorry, that was another layer to that whole story.
And you were able to kick a winning field goal, right?
Yeah, that was one of the probably one of the moments I'll remember forever. Grade 11, my brother was in grade 13, so that was his first year playing football. He was a big volleyball guy. So he was playing on Whitfield. My dad was coaching, and it was a tight game going into the fourth, and you kind of get those feelings as a kicker, like, when it's tight near the end, you're like, all right, this could come down to me. And so yeah, I kind of did that. My brother got injured that game too, pretty badly, so that wasn't too good. But yeah, I remember we got the ball, started driving up the field, and I'm like, all right, this is probably gonna happen. And then got in field goal range, went out there, did my steps back and my steps over, and the whistle came in and he iced me. And so I just stayed out there and came back, and then I kicked that game-winning kick, and I've yet to kick one in university, but that one felt pretty good.
North Bay Echo is proud to partner with Twigs Coffee Roasters, a part of the community since 1995. Twigs offers a wide selection of quality beans, fresh roasted in-house every day. Find your favorite specialty drinks at our espresso bar. Rejuvenate with freshly squeezed juice, or treat yourself to mouth-watering selections from our gourmet deli. And don't forget our irresistible fresh baked goods, including uncompromising gluten-free options. Twigs has 5 locations to serve you, from North Bay to Sturgeon Falls to Sudbury. Order online for pickup at twigs.ca. And coming soon, you'll be able to order fresh roasted coffee beans direct to your doorstep from our distribution center in North Bay.
In non-varsity sports, I was at the Action MMA Club on Saturday night. They had what they call a smoker, which is kind of like, it's not sanctioned as competitive fights. It's more like live sparring.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And it was sanctioned by Waco, the kickboxing organization. It was really kind of cool. I was there for a couple hours.
Yeah.
They were having a lot of fun. I know these guys.
Yeah.
I've not partied with these guys, but I know these guys very well. Actually, I was at a wedding where they're really great guys.
Yeah.
A lot of people think these mixed martial arts guys are rough and tough and hard to deal with. They are the calmest people I know.
Yeah. Just what goes into it. Sure, yeah, you look at that and think, oh, there's just a couple guys swinging at each other, or girls now. But know how much technical work, and obviously you know that from everything Dylan's put in. But it's a science, and they're very well skilled at understanding what to do, and they're trying to think 3-4 moves ahead at all times. So,
and when I say calmest guys, outside the ring.
Yes.
And actually inside the ring too. Quite a few of them are very respectful of each other. That's what they're trying to do, is they're almost like brothers. Mm-hmm. And after these smoker matches, a lot of them were hugging and going around. They just really bonded.
Yeah. And they want to have and put on a good show. It is still a show. It's entertainment. You need to get people in the doors. But and it is nice to see that. Like, they're working together. They have a mutual respect for what the other person does.
First up is Josh Beaton, a local guy. I know he works at the ONR. He's been with the Action MMA for a long time. Actually, he's a son-in-law of the owner, Corey Jackson, Action Jackson. And he was first up, and he was the main event. He's a veteran. He was up with Matt Poulin of T-Mac from Timmins. He is an excellent technical fighter and really good at kickboxing. The MMA is something that he got into, but he's sort of a real kickboxer.
Okay.
And you'll see that as him and Matt Poulin are striking. Good match. It was rougher than you would think for
live sparring.
Yeah. But they were very respectful of each other. It wasn't the roughest match. There was a couple others that were pretty good. But it was really cool. They started off with 2 young guys. I don't know their ages, but they're very small. You'll see them, James Gravel and Rebel Paquette.
Okay.
And it was really great to watch them.
Yeah.
They were doing all the different moves that they could. They were striking. They both of them knocked each other down.
Yeah.
The crowd just loved it. Now, third up, Jensen Cook, a local guy. He's now in Sudbury. Actually, I've talked to him a few times.
Yeah.
I think he's a great guy. Very respectful. I've interviewed him several times.
Yeah.
He's now a father, a 1.5-year-old child. He's in Sudbury working, doing rebar, an iron worker. And it was good. I got to talk to him before he ended up stepping in the ring with T-Mac's Dean Soon. As you'll see, both are very good fighters. Next up was another local guy, Action's Louis Sutherland. He was up against T-Mac's AJ Okama. And that guy looked tough.
Yeah.
He was one of those real beat black guys.
Yeah.
Really, not beat, built.
Yeah.
And Mr. Sutherland, he was described as coming to the club as a shy, skinny, as a pole kind of guy. Very in the ring.
Yeah.
You can tell that he's trained hard. He's learned a lot of technique. Very calm. Very respectful. It was really good to watch him fight, and I think he might have something there.
Yeah.
All these guys were very impressive. The next fight, Jay Wang was up against T-Mac's Hunter Coyne, and Hunter Coyne is aptly named because he hunted down Jay, and Hunter was a little bit more serious about it. And I think that war on Jay, Jay was described as a very calm, chill guy, and Hunter was there to win. I think Hunter thought it was a fight.
Yeah. No holds barred.
Yeah, no holds barred. And Action's Nick Caruso, one of the veterans there. He's been around for a long time. I first met him fighting in Mattawa at the quest for the titles.
Okay.
And he's still into it. I'm going to say that I've seen him in better shape.
Okay.
But he hung in there and he did well. And he was up against a guy, Arthur Mayolat. Now, this kid, well-built, very well-trained, very technical. I would like to see him in a real fight against somebody his own size.
Proper size.
And experience level. Very, very interested in seeing that. But the fight of the night in this last part here, Action's Brad Gardner was up against T-Mac's Kane Ihetel. And they had sparred hard before.
Yeah.
And they were almost like friends, hitting each other very hard and hugging afterwards. Kane actually knocked him out.
Okay.
He was down.
Yeah.
He got back up and they started again. Personally, I would have ended that one.
Yeah.
Because by the time things were ending, I think Brad took too many shots for his own good.
Yeah.
Someone's going to have to teach him to not leave his head up like this. And I'm probably on a very risque giving advice to fighters.
Yeah.
But I boxed when I was 17, and he's definitely got to tuck his chin in because he was taking way too many rights to the chin.
Playing defense like Rocky.
He ate a few. I think go back to the drawing board after a little bit of rest and stay away from some hard shots. But I really enjoyed it. I love that shit. My son, of course, is in the MMA, and I like combat sports. What do you think, combat sports?
I really enjoy watching them, especially on a hyped fight. There's a huge element of the marketing that goes into that and everything. But no, there's really nothing better than being around and watching it. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for how much work goes into it. I think that's maybe a part that falls on people. Like, this is a lifestyle. This is like the dedication that goes in, the training, understanding the technique, where just what you have to do to take care of your body and maintain it. And I think it's great that we have this here. And if there's people who are seeing it on TV, wanting to know more about it, really it's a great way to, be physical and find new ways to work out and take care of yourself.
Kojiko was actually there with the team. They documented the whole thing. There was a live stream, and I think Kojiko is going to air it. It wasn't live streamed on Kojiko. It was on someone's YouTube page. But watch for it in Kojiko. Enjoy it. I think it was a great event. Saw some local guys, and it was packed in there.
That's great.
Really good. So if you missed that one at the Action MMA, Ferris Family Martial Arts is holding their second annual on October 19th. Check our information in the newsletter for times, places. It's being held at the West Ferris Secondary School on October 19th.
In university hockey action, the Lakers women's team will open their season at York on Saturday, and their first home games will be on October 18th and 19th versus TMU in Windsor, Friday at 6 p.m. and Saturday at 4 p.m. You can find the action live streamed from OUA TV. It's a free service. You just have to register for it.
And that's for their away games, but when they're playing at Memorial Gardens, show up.
Get down to the Gardens.
They need you cheer. Yeah, they need you cheer. We also have video highlights from the Lakers men's hockey season opener. I was at Memorial Gardens on Friday. Local product goalie Zach Roy stopped 50 shots, kept them in the game. Yep. It was 2-1, and then they scored an empty netter at the end. I think the Lakers got some penalty problems, and it kind of fell on his shoulders. But I think with that type of performance, it gives them hope.
It does. It's a difficult hill to climb when you have to start against McGill and UQTR. Not a lot of people know this, but those are the only two schools in Quebec, and they have the sort of first draw at all the Quebec major junior players that come out. So these are teams that could, compete with American Hockey League teams, that McGill team. So for Nipissing to come out of the season with that start, even though they're down 0-2, they really have a lot to work with, and Coach Mike should be really proud with what he's got going. And I think when you start seeing some of the other teams they play, they're going to do quite well.
Well, even the game against Three Rivers on the Saturday, it was very close, 4-3, 10 minutes left in the game.
Yep.
Right? So they lost 6-3. Zach stopped another 30-some-odd shots, and the Lakers were outshot 36-24. So that's why you have that type of score.
Yep. Yeah, and then there's a lot of guys on that roster that can score from both teams. So they're very dangerous, and you have to play them tight, and any little mistake they can expose it.
And if you want to see them play Guelph tonight, check out the OUA TV. Yes, very much. And they play...
on Saturday, they're going to be back-to-back with Guelph.
Right. 2 games in a row down there.
Yeah.
I haven't checked to see how good Guelph is.
Usually have a strong team. The program went through a resurgence probably 5-6 years ago, and they've been really strong ever since. So yeah, they'll be in tough. That is one hidden gem. The OUA hockey, both men's and women's. It's some of the highest level of hockey you're going to see, and it's right here in our backyard. That's
the hockey I love. So their next home games are the 25th, 26th, when Western visits for a 2-game set, and that's going to sort of put me in conflict because we just interviewed
Rachel, so you're going to have to be
with the women's basketball team, right? Yeah. And that's when they open their season. So, and I promised her I'd show up with some video. So one of those games, I'm going to be up watching basketball with you.
We'll have to, definitely be trading spots. And I've got to check my schedule and find out which hockey tournament. I think I'm actually going to Lake Placid with my daughter for a hockey tournament that weekend too. So I won't even be there to see either of those games open up. But.
And your wife's assistant coach with the Lakers women's basketball team.
Yeah, my wife Lindsay's been coaching with Rachel. We actually don't get to it on the interview, but she was surprised to be asked because she hasn't coached basketball since she played. And but no, it's a really interesting thing to watch the two of them work together. My wife is an occupational therapist by trade, and Rachel's kind of the X's and O's. My wife has a way of interacting with the players. The two, you'll hear it in the interview with Rachel. I think they're really on to something special with their connection to their players.
And that interview is going to come out next Friday in the 5th Sports.
Yes.
Onto the pitch. The Lakers women's soccer are 8-2 heading into the final 2 regular season games this weekend in Toronto. They play U of T on Saturday and TMU on Sunday. They are ranked 2nd in the OUA East Division, 3 points behind Ottawa.
And just trying to pick up on where they left off last year, went into the playoffs, were hoping to make nationals, lost in the final game that would have led them there. So I know Coach David Patani is hoping to climb that mountain this year. And then over on the men's side, men's soccer are 6-2-2, and they sit 4th in the OUA East. They're tied with Carleton, who's 2nd, and TMU 3rd, each with 20 points. U of T is tops with 22 points, and so there's quite a logjam at the end of the regular season there. So Nipissing is going to play U of T this Saturday and TMU on Sunday, and it gives them a chance to steal first place. And this is the most successful team that Nipissing has had for men's soccer already with their record. So looking forward to see what they do. Yeah.
So if they finish very high, we might see them in a playoff game here?
Absolutely, yeah. It would be great to have a home game and get some crowd out and everybody in their jackets and watch some. But it's really exciting to be up at the field there too, watching playoff.
That's high quality soccer. So we're into the battalion update, and they've been taking it on the chin on the road.
Off to a great start at home and a bit of a struggle on that road trip, which I'm sure they're ready to turn the tables on that this weekend as they get ready. I know they host Owen Sound for the Thanksgiving game. Mm-hmm. So that'll be a chance for former assistant coach and now head coach of Owen Sound, Scott Ray, making his return. And I know it'll be a big game, a lot on the line for an early season game.
Well, the new president is Adam Dennis, and we had him on the Echo Essentials podcast with Scott Clark and myself. You can find that on the northbayecho.ca website because it was posted yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah. Very interesting individual.
Adam is fantastic. He's just so dialed into so many aspects of the game, not just, the on ice and what's happening there, but he's very well connected. And just the approach that he's taking with the team, the community involvement, what's happened kind of in the 5-6 months since he's been, if it's even been that long, taken over that role. You're really going to see a lot of changes in how they've connected with the community, and that's maybe been lacking a bit. And not to leave it like Adam's no slouch of a goalie himself, Memorial Cup winner, and just one of the all-time best OHL goalies to ever play. So
well, he played pro in Italy.
Yes, yeah, and he really. It was a time coming up where he had a great year when the NHL had the lockout, so focus was really on junior hockey that year and that Memorial Cup in London. And they traded for him and took him there, and I think played Sidney Crosby in the final. I don't know if that comes up in the interview, but yeah. Yep. So, pretty spectacular OHL career, which he's now turned into an even more spectacular administrative off-ice career in the OHL.
Fun fact: he actually outscored Sidney in that game.
Did he really?
He got an assist.
He got an assist on a goal, and he shut Sidney down. That's amazing. I did not know that.
So check out the interview. It was really, really pretty cool. For our Heritage Moment, Chris Dawson at Bay Today, he actually donated an interview with the late Don Butch Turcotte, somebody I knew personally. I loved sitting down with him. I visited when I dropped off the magazine. He'd always give me a couple double thumps there when I saw him. He was one of the Lakers women's hockey team's biggest fans. Of course, his son Darren, who's an NHL player and star. Coaches, and I haven't done anything yet for Butch. I remember doing a video of the 40th anniversary of the ice hockey rink that he had outside that everybody knew about.
The LaBreche Forum, yes.
The LaBreche Forum.
Legendary outdoor rink in North Bay. I know I've heard the story that when he was looking for a house in North Bay, when they were moving back here, I guess it was like it had to have a space that he could have this outdoor rink. And so, again, long before my time that all of this would have started, but it continued and carried on. Just an amazing tradition that really, and then even to see all the neighbors who helped keep that up as Butch got older and, became a little bit harder to manage all the work that goes into an outdoor rink, especially with the weather making it harder too. But yeah, just an incredible story.
I actually met him for the first time only in the, I don't know, might have been around 2005, something like that. I was writing columns for the Nugget, covering city council, and there was something about the creek in his backyard. Neighbors were being asked, people along the creek, to put a buffer and to protect the runoff going into the creek, Parks Creek.
Yeah.
And I mentioned there's some guy who looks like he has a sawmill back there.
And that it was Butch.
I didn't know who it was. Yeah. I just saw the rink. I didn't know the history of the rink or anything like that. I just said, well, some joker there has a sawmill back there. You better clamp down on that, right? Because he had a lot of wood. He liked his fires. So he came up to me at the Gardens one time at a battalion game, and he's like, do you know who I am? Right? And I'm like, don't have a clue.
Yeah.
And he's just, you give you that ice cold, like his reputation was a pretty tough guy, right?
Yeah.
And pretty hard on players. That was his technique of getting the most out of them. And but ever since then, and he kind of laughed when I said, I don't know who you are. And I don't care, really. I didn't say that, but I just said, who are you? And I didn't recognize the name, or it was. Although I covered his son when he was with the Centennials, I took pictures. That was my first assignment when I was with Canada College Print Journalism.
Yep.
So he might have known about me, and he definitely read my column. But I met Butch that way, and we were friends ever since then.
Oh, it's amazing how things can come full circle like that.
Yeah. It was very sad to lose him this summer.
I mean, just touched so many people in the hockey community, obviously through all of his work with, guiding Darren's career and building the teams and stuff that went around it, and then his support of Darren everywhere. So no, it's not the same going into the rink. It's not the same being at a women's Lakers game and not seeing him there. So definitely will be missed, and brought a tremendous amount to the game. And North Bay is very lucky to have had that time with him. This
interview that you're going to see was recorded in 2012, and one of the a Canadore student, Colby Clark, is with Chris asking questions. So somebody getting experience, and you could see a little bit of Butch before he started to, really not be able to carry on full sentences and stuff like that.
Yes, yeah, and that was, definitely. I'm sure as somebody who's coached and been so involved and active, not being able to continue to share and all of pass on that advice and it kind of came in other ways in terms of the support, and it was a tremendous loss felt by the hockey community, and there was a huge outpouring of support during the celebration of life.
Yes. Well, here's Butch.
So, how long have you had the rink?
About approximately 40 years.
Really?
It's changed its size. This is the biggest I've ever had it, and I've had it where I had railway ties as boards, and then I got boards from the city, and it's just expanded. And I guess it comes with age. You expand, eh?
And what made you decide to build the rink in the first place?
Well, when I bought this house, I was looking for facilities that I could put a rink, because I had a son and I wanted him to be able to skate in that. And it ended up that it was near the creek, and I was watering it from the creek, and anyways, that's why I had it, because of Darren, and maybe it's helped him out in his life.
And now, I guess kids from the community are using it, and all kids are welcome?
It's mostly local kids, and they've been pretty good the last couple of years, but for a couple of years, I've had trouble with them, but this year they've been good. Last year they're exceptional, and as long as that continues, I'll continue my rink. But once, kids today, they have, but once you're here, they're doing things that I like to see them doing, that they could be doing other things that I'd rather not the kids do.
Okay.
Actually, I got a question for you. Sure. Look at him, though. Butch, tell me I don't even think I ever asked you this, but what went through your mind when you saw in the Winter Classic alumni game, when you saw Darren playing an NHL game on an outdoor rink, and of course he started to play at a rink? What kind of went through your mind when you saw him on the ice on an outdoor rink? Did you kind of get some flashbacks when you saw him playing in that alumni game?
Yeah, I had people from the province, people calling me and saying, you still have your rink going, and I think you had it on the Weather Network, did you?
What does this rink mean to you? What do you think this rink means to you? The fact that so many, that Darren went on to a career, and I know you say you had a little piece.
Like I said a few seconds ago, it's keeping people out of mischief, and as a former school teacher, you like to see kids grow up, and I'm helping kids grow up at the same time. I have a couple out there now, just young kids, but there's no necking and no holding hands. That's part of the ground rules, eh? So I had to come out and tell him.
What about Devin getting to learn the game? He never had a chance really to play because of Darren's career until he moved up here. Yeah. I think when I did the piece on, it was like his second winter in North Bay. Like, and you know, how neat was that seeing Devin play out here?
Well, they moved back to North Bay when Devin was 14, and he could. I guess he played a little bit in Nashville, but he didn't play very competitive, and he's come a long way since he's been here in 5 or 6 years. So I'm pretty proud of him. But he used this rink like his father did quite a bit. Not lately, too much, but because he's been pretty busy. But
how important are rinks like this these days? Like you say, it keeps kids out of trouble. Like I think part of you wants to keep doing this because you know that there aren't, like, the way the community rinks are taken care of isn't the way you would like rinks to be taken care of. I don't want to get you in trouble, but
you're gonna cut that, man.
Yes.
I have some regulars that come almost every day, but it's not like they have so many activities now going on, extracurricular activities, and I guess those things come first, and maybe my rink comes second now. But to some people, but anyway, just to see kids out there and thanking me for what I'm doing. It's just on my own time, but I put a lot of time into that. It's probably the best rink in town.
How much time a week?
Well, I know today the guys that were here last night never scraped when they left. That's part of the ground rules too. So I had to come out and scrape before I went to see a couple games at the local rink, and I probably flood every second day, and I'd say maybe during the week 5, 10, maybe five times for about 20 hours a week I put out there. Yeah.
So it was great to see Butch 12 years ago, right? And a little bit more capacity and speaking well, and it gave me. Well, he used to give me candies all the time. Oh, right? Yeah. I had those. What were they?
I think they were Werther's.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't normally go for sweets, but he always filled my pockets, and I'm pretty sure I have a cavity from it.
Yeah, I don't know if he had stock in Werther's because everywhere he went, they were being handed out at the rink or wherever. But yeah, always had time for everybody, no matter what level of hockey they were playing.
He was, of course, inducted into the North Bay Sports Hall of Fame. I got some information here. He was inducted in 1992 as a builder. He actually came out of Kapuskasing, where I worked at the Northern Times. So we had a little bit of connection there too. And he was a teacher at Algonquin in the late 1960s, and then he started coaching Barons hockey and football clubs. As an aside, I met one of the students that played for him in high school, and he said that Butch talked him out of playing for the Trappers that year because Butch wanted to win NDA.
Make the high school team stronger, yeah.
And then when he tried for the Trappers, when Butch was coaching the next year, he got cut. So the guy was...
he was always focused on making sure he could put the best teim on the ice possible.
We'll say it like that.
Sometimes.
Yeah. And he won the championship, the provincials in 75, 76. I actually put that photo in the Back in the Bay magazine this fall. Peter Hanley did the first part of a series on the history of hockey. Okay. And of course, Butch was part of that write-up. So got to put his picture in the magazine again.
In 1982, the Pine Hill crew that he had put together, this was a AAA team, the first sort of in the north, they reached the provincial Bantam hockey finals. And in the spring of 1984, the same group won the Canadian midget hockey title, the Air Canada Cup in North Bay. So that was played in Memorial Gardens, and all of that came together through his work in working with others to create that team that hadn't been there, find the players and get them to be here and put that team and mold them into what became North Bay's first and only national midget championship to date, and really quite an incredible task to do that.
Yeah, it's part of his legendary status, right? That was the cherry on top. Really?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean,
aside from the provincial championship for the Toronto, for the Trappers.
The Trappers, and that's pre-OHL days as well, so that predates that. But no, he had a vision of what he wanted to do, and he was able to see that through. And for anybody that knows Darren, he also inherited a lot of his father's building techniques and stuff, and whether it's the program that Darren took to the finals for the midget Ice Bolts back then, and they lost, unfortunately, in the final of it was the SO Cup, that's the top midget team. And then, he's obviously done so well building that Nipissing Lakers program and still hoping to find the top of the mountaintop.
I think Darren started with locally coaching with the Skyhawks.
Very briefly, he was with the Skyhawks.
I was standing beside him when a little bit of Butch came out, and that's why he sort of segued out of coaching in North Bay for a second. Not a big deal.
He went up to Abitibi for a little bit, and then ultimately came back. And that's really when I got to meet Darren for the first time, was when he started coaching with the Lakers. So he was helping Coach McParland with that, and really brought that level of professionalism and experience in the locker room. And I think, the kids on that team, I say kids, they're now all men, but it really brought a lot to that team in that first year. So both Mike and Darren's experiences the kids were very lucky to have it.
Part of that whole national championship they won in '84, when he was coaching the Hals Marine Bantams, they won 2 NOHA titles. And they became the first Canadian team in 25 years to win the Cumulus tournament in Finland. And then they took silver in an event in Sweden. So that's part of that sort of team building. Like, he brought these guys along and gave them the toughest competition, which is how they won the Nationals.
You get better by playing people that are better. And obviously they knew how to do that. And even just reading this bio and all the work that went into it, with knowing what I know now, not just as a player, but as somebody trying to work with leagues and coach teams, this is just incredible. I really can't imagine how many hours Butch spent on doing this, and not to mention that how many other people would have been there supporting and making that happen in terms of sponsorship and organization and working things to make sure they're finding the right players. It really takes a whole village to accomplish this.
I don't think it's happened since here.
No, and it's going to be hard because that time of that advantage from Northern Ontario, where we were able to be on the outdoor rinks longer than anyone else and maybe not have as many distractions or other things. And now what you're seeing is that advantage has kind of dissipated as, one, our weather doesn't allow for the outdoor rinks that we maybe once had. And the kids in other parts of the province and the country are just training year-round and, continuing to throw the resources that, Butch was doing, which maybe was a little ahead of his time at that time. And now a lot of people have caught up. So,
what I didn't know about this until I read the Hall of Fame write-up, and you can kind of type in anybody's name and find the induction description there at the North Bay Sports Hall of Fame.ca.
Yep.
I think it's .ca. He was a softball coach, umpire.
Okay.
Could you imagine that?
Well, I don't think you would want to challenge too many of his calls. I kind of think he would be pretty quick to let you know he was right, and maybe that might be the end of your game if you were challenged too much.
Well, so that's a wrap. That's our Sportscast number 4. Appreciate the viewership. Please keep track of us by signing up for the newsletter at northbayecho.ca. We enjoy putting a spotlight on local sports, starting with high school and then all the other stuff. So thank you very much for tuning in. This is another Echo Sportscast.
I'm Paul McLean.
And I'm Dave Dale. Have a good day.